The Hortator wandered through the morning hold, wrestling with the lessons he had learned. They were slippery in his mind. He could not always keep the words straight and knew that this was a danger. He wandered to find Vivek, his lord and master, the glory of the image of Veloth, and found him of all places in the Temple of False Thinking. There, clockwork shears were taking off Vivek's hair. A beggar king had brought his loom, and was making of the hair an incomplete map of adulthood and death. Nerevar said, "Why are you doing this, my lord?" Vivek said, "To make room for the fire." And the Hortator could see that Vivek was out of sorts, though not because of the impending new power to come. The Golden Warrior poet had been exercising his water face as well, learned from the drows before he was born. Nerevar said, "Is this to keep you from the fire?" Vivek said, "It is so that I may see with truth. It, and my place here at the altar of Padhome in the House of False Thinking, serve so that I may see beyond my own secrets. The water face cannot lie. It comes from the ocean, which is too busy to think, much less lie. Moving water resembles truth by its trembling." Nerevar said, "I am afraid to become slipshod in my thinking." Vivek said, "Reach heaven by violence, then." So to quiet his mind, the Hortator chose from the fight racks an axe. He named it and moved on to the first moon. There, Nerevar was greeted by the Parliament of Craters, who knew him by title and resented his presence, for he was to be a ruling king of Earth, and this was the lunar realm. They shifted around him in a pattern of entrapment. "The moon does not recognize crowns or scepters," they said, "nor the representatives of kingdoms below, lion or serpent or mathematician. We are the graves of those that have migrated and become ancient countries. We seek no queens or thrones. Your appearance is decidedly solar, which is to say, a library of stolen ideas. We are neither tear nor sorrow. Our revolution succeeded in the manner that was written. You are the Hortator, and unwelcome here." And so Nerevar carved at the grave ghosts until he was out of breath, and their parliament could make no new laws. He said, "I am not of the slaves that perish." Of the members of parliament, only a few survived the Hortator's attack. A surviving Crater said, "Appropriation is nothing new. Everything happens of itself. This motif is by no means unassociated with hero myths. You have not acted with creative impulse. You fall below the weight of destiny. We are graves but not coffins. Know the difference. You have only dug more and supplied no ghosts to reside within. Central to your claim is the predominance of frail events. To be judged by the earth is to sit on a throne of wonder why. Damage us more, and you will find naught but the absence of our dead." The ending of the words is Almsithi. Okay, welcome back to episode 6 of the Trials of Samuel. So today, it's going to be very much a episode of getting things kind of set up for the future. Just going to stick my sword away. So, last episode we visited Ibadet. Yep, okay. Another sleeper. And we completed a rather challenging tomb there. And we looted a lot of stuff. And today's episode is kind of about getting all that stuff out of this house and making some cash back. And we're going to be using all of that wonderful cash to essentially power level our character, make the game world a little bit more challenging for ourselves, and hopefully encounter a few more kind of interesting enemies that might pose a bit more of a threat to us. So to start the episode,
walk when you can ride?
I'm just going to double check that I do have... Pretty sure we got quite a few of these scrolls of mark. Cool. So 3 will be plenty for what I want to do today. So we are going to go and start by traveling to Vivek.
We make a special trip just for you. Same low price.
And from here, it's going to be a little bit of a travel, but I want to get to the Mudcrab Merchant. Oh, okay, hello. That longsword makes this a lot easier to deal with all this stuff everywhere. Cool. And I think that is it. In fact, the Dwarven Ruin in the distance over there. Just on that island. Which I think means this is Alsotha, maybe? This Daedric Ruin here. Is that Alsotha? Could be. Well, just curious. It is Alsotha. Okay. So Alsotha is kind of a cool... well, it's not really cool, but it's interesting story about Alsotha. Is that it's the birthplace of Sotha Sil, the wonderful tribunal god of the tribunal, Sotha Sil. He's a very interesting character, also known as the Clockwork God. But he has interesting lore. So Old Sotha was destroyed by Maroon's Dagon. And Sotha Sil was I believe, the only surviving member of that destruction. And basically ever since then, this is just a smuggler's cave with some slaves in it. But ever since then, Sotha Sil has kind of had a grudge against the Daedra, understandably so. So it's an interesting bit of a backstory for Sotha Sil. It's quite cool. So there is our Dwarven ruin. Now I'm pretty sure it's not this one. I think it might be a little bit further over. Try to cast this again. Failed. Oh, we got that one. Very nice. And I actually had to think, and I'm thinking probably what we will do is actually invest in a few different skills. So basically giving Samuel more interesting tools to work with. And this here is our wonderful Mudcrab Merchant. So there you go. So all we do here is pop down a scroll of mark so that we return to this spot. And then I'm going to use our wonderful scroll of Obsidian Intervention, I think. I think this takes us to Molag Ma. Yep, so we're a little bit further from Vivek than we are from Molag Ma. That's just fine. Molag Ma, we will be returning here. Definitely. Because there's a nearby Redoran quest that we will do. But for now, we're just going to head out of town. Those. Now, the Mudcrab Merchant doesn't buy clothing or jewellery unless they're enchanted. I don't think. He might not buy enchanted jewellery either. And he doesn't buy alchemy ingredients or equipment or books. So he's sort of limited to weapons and armor. That's fine. Alright, here we are. So I'm going to be skipping past a lot of this because it's going to take a while. Because he does have 10,000 gold, but we have a lot more than 10,000 in terms of items. So we're going to have to be, well, I'm going to have to be resting for 24 hours, selling again for 10,000 gold, resting again for 24 hours, and then selling again for 10,000 gold. And trying to get as much of this kind of high value stuff like this Daedric Battle Axe, trying to get as much of that 50,000 gold value in cash. So we'll be back relatively shortly, and I'll just do this off screen. I'm going to sell off those items as well. Because, as I mentioned in the last episode, I don't really want to use Sujamma or any of these sort of like fortify strength things. Particularly if we're going to be going into kind of a hybrid martial caster. It's really not worth the drain intelligence effect. Makes things a bit more tricky. So that's cool. And I think we've got everything now out that we wanted to get out. So we did get 2 Dark Brotherhood Assassins while we were here. Oh, in fact, I've got more of that stuff. Let's just sell the last of these. Cool. I think that's everything. Oh my gosh, never mind. I dropped more stuff to make room to move. I'm going to actually clear out all these corpses, but just to kind of take a look at how many random things spawned while we were here. Yeah, there's a lot. So we've got rats, we've got wild guar, we've got assassins, karma foragers, the whole shebang. I'll go ahead and dispose of corpse here. Just for all of these, clean things up a little bit. I'm not going to grab the alchemy ingredients because it just feels silly. I did grab the Dark Brotherhood gear pretty much purely for the fact that it would get this done a little bit quicker. And looking around, I can't see anything else that we missed here. So we have now got 160,000 gold, which is a lot of gold. So we're going to use our Scroll of Civi Intervention, of which we have only 1 left. So that'll be one thing we can actually buy here, is a Scroll of Civi Intervention. And we're just going to have a look around. You are not a merchant, you are a slaver. And we cannot buy slaves in this game, nor would we want to.
Where would you like to go?
We're gonna go to Balmora, and the reason why I want to go to Balmora is because there is I can't remember her name. The High Elf at the High Elf. I guess only one isn't there. The High Elf down here. She does spell crafting. Probably put my clothes back on. There we go. And I don't need this tower shield. I still have it. Damn it.
Go ahead, Outlander.
It's
What do you
okay.
need?
It's only worth a small amount, so we can sell it to any merchant that will buy armor, which is cool. So with all of this money, training and alteration is on the cards.
Is there something you need?
I need to double check how we're doing towards our goals here. So this level, strength, willpower, and endurance is probably a good way to go. I guess we're pretty close to that anyway. So we'll take a couple in alteration. Until we are ready to level up, which I think is 1 more. These are all willpower, I think. take alteration. And then we'll probably fill this out with mysticism. Oh. Okay. This affects the open effect. I want that. That's really, really good to get here. We'll get a shield effect spell. Cool. And we're gonna make a couple of spells here. So open 50 plus. Untouch 50 to 100. And that's it. And actually that should be all dope. So I like to kind of list them by the School of Magic first. So that's why I'll put alt there instead of whatever. Cool. I think I need anything else right now. I think that's fine.
Hello, Outlander. I hope you won't take too much of my time.
Aren't you an Outlander, lady? Oh, I've got my iron helmet on. Crap. Let me just find somewhere to go sell this junk. In fact, you will buy it, won't you? Oh, wonderful. Yeah, you take these. I don't want them. To check the conditions for everything. In fact, if I want to do that, I can do it here, can't I?
Well met.
Oh crap.
Greetings.
Didn't mean to do that. Corvian for helm. I don't know what else I took. I took 9 of these. I didn't want to take. Cool. Training. Should double check what my skills are. So armor is one of these skills, so I want to avoid leveling that. Heavy armor is also there, so we'll do blunt weapon. Cool. I think this is probably a good point to stop leveling. We have 105,000 in the bank. We've got a few levels in strength. The big kind of focus here was on not overdoing it on the combat related stuff. I still want there to be that challenge as we go through the game world, but I want to kind of make traversal of the game world a little bit easier. And so alteration was kind of the big focus here. You can see it's gone up to 49, which is a massive improvement over, I believe it was 19 before, or something around that. And other than that, we've leveled up block a little bit. We've hit heavy armor 50 as well. And we've sort of otherwise just focused on basically getting these miscellaneous skills up. So you can see spear is at 36. We'll probably never use spear. Again, another one here is blunt weapon at 50. We'll never use blunt weapon. Conjuration, mysticism, unarmored, sneak, speechcraft, hand to hand. Again, all kind of stuff that we're not really going to use. Speechcraft may come up. But mostly, I mean, these miscellaneous skills are ones that we don't really use. In terms of things, other things that have gone up, enchant, a few levels in enchant. It's just going to make these enchanted items that we've got, they're not going to cost quite as much when we do use them, is kind of the theory here. But it's going to be pretty minimal. Realistically, enchant was chosen only because I wanted to get my intelligence up a little bit for a little bit more magicka to work with. Restoration's gone up a little bit, so restoration is sort of only really used for like hearth heal, which is sort of irrelevant at this point. But we do have this here, this restore fatigue spell as well, which is a very low cost magicka spell. Basically allows us to run and still restore fatigue, like we were a Skyrim player. Athletics has gone up, not at all, I don't think. I touched athletics. But yeah, alteration's kind of the big one here that's gone up. And obviously our health has gone up quite a lot. I think it's about double what it was before. And that's all come from this max endurance here. Cool. So we are now on to kind of the rest of the mission here. So I'm just going to double check our spells. We've got this open 50 to 100. I am actually going to go and get a straight up open 100 spell made.
Yes, Outlander. What do you want?
So that open 100 spell is basically going to serve us for the rest of the game whenever we have a chest that's really quite tricky to unlock, that's not going to be able to be done with a, you know, a random roll of a dice between 50 and 100. We can actually use that open 100 spell to guarantee that we can open it. And that's going to be really useful for us. So we'll go ahead and get that done. This is going to be simply open 100. Alt. Open 100. Perfect. 421 gold, and there's also a 57% chance to cast, which is wonderful. We can definitely do that. It is quite expensive on the magicka side of things, so we're not going to be able to do it right now. So we will have to rely on this alt open 50 plus instead until we get our intelligence leveled up. So that will be one for the future. And speaking of relying on magicka, I'm going to grab one of those. I'm going to grab the Scroll of Civi Intervention and also the Divine Intervention Scroll as well. Otherwise, we'll close that off. So we got mysticism, conjuration, and it was really just mysticism and conjuration, huh? Those are leveled up a little bit. They're pretty useful things, but probably ones that we're not really going to use too much in this playthrough. Let me just have a quick look around for spells, because I'm thinking potentially there may be something here that we could use. A reflect spell. You can kind of stack reflect on your enchanted armor and stuff. I'm not going to bother doing that this run. I don't think.
Dirt everywhere. Dirt.
Jeepers. I won't bother doing that on this run, but it might be fun in the future to actually think about doing a pure reflect kind of character. So you kind of walk around the map, and as things attack you, they just die. It could be quite funny to think about. I do actually have a kind of a troll character in mind for some point in the future, which could be a lot of fun to play around with. Looking for some kind of interesting looking potions. See if you've got anything in here that's going to be interesting for us. No, it all looks pretty basic. Cool. Okay. Oh, I was going to actually craft a particular spell, so I'll go do that now. So there are a few spells that are pretty good in this game.
Is there something I can do for
But there's a really nice kind of alteration combined spell that I've been thinking about. Might be good. So actually it's going to be water breathing on self. And we'll aim for maybe 20 seconds at a time. And also swift swim on self. I'm thinking probably somewhere between... Let's just see what we can do. 40? 20 seconds. Spell chance is only 30 there. So I might bring this down a little bit. Maybe if we go for 30 seconds and maybe drop the the duration a little bit. We bring that to 10. And over here we can bring this down to 10 as well. This is alt, swim. Swimmies. I'm just kind of curious about how this is gonna play, but we'll try it when we're in Vivek, I suppose. Hang on. But before I forget, let's upgrade our levitate spell. So we are currently using a levitate kind of one spell there. We can increase this to maybe not 15. Maybe if we drop this down a few, drop that down a little, 15 to 20 for 15 seconds. That looks alright. Alt, Lev, upgraded. Cool. It is a bit more expensive in terms of the cost. Actually, quite a lot more expensive, huh? See if we can have one that's really cheap as well. Alt Lev, minor. Cool. The Alt Lev minor one. Guaranteed cast for us, which is wonderful. And it is sort of split. So if we just try this out. So it's a 1 to 12 points. So this is a 3-point levitate. It's actually noticeably faster than the 1 point, which is nice. So climb into this building. This is a 12-point levitate, so this is a max roll. You know what? That's actually very very manageable for us. Nice. So we're gonna travel to Vivek.
Why walk when you can ride?
And we're gonna hand in one of our House Redoring quests. We'll head to the Mages Guild first. So spells. Okay.
Do you have something to say, Outlander?
You do enchanting. Oh shoot. I may have botched my plans here. I'm pretty sure none of these guys actually do alteration spells. You're an enchanter, aren't you? Yeah. And you... Oh, you do Hot Toad. Amazing. We'll grab Slowfall as well while we're here. There's a few illusion spells. There is a mark and a recall spell. Look at that. And actually...
This is unexpected, but not unwelcome. Please go ahead.
55% chance to cast. That's pretty good, actually. So if we run out of mark spells and we need to put down a mark in a pinch, we can use those spells. Cool. So I've got what we wanted, I think. Now I'm going to attempt... don't have enough magicka. Oh, it's 30 magicka? Oh my god. Never mind. I'll walk. 30 magicka. Yikes. Okay, where is the Redoran Canton from here? It's one of these two. Pretty sure. I go to local. There we go, straight ahead. Okay. Use our minor levitate to try to get over here. And avoid taking the long way around. Come on. Get me over. This is kind of one of the real benefits of levitate, is that you save so much time on map traversal. As the waste works, we want to go up, up, up. So we'll scoot around the side. We should have a way up here. To the plaza. Cool. Now where was this person again? They're in the treasury, weren't they? Pretty sure. It was you, wasn't it? Please accept the shield as a reward. I think our current shield is better. Cool. So this is one of the reasons why we've kept our mark where it is. Is we're going to head to the Redis Ancestral Tomb. We're going to do this quest for Pharaoh Retherin. Just training as well. Interesting that she does training and is a Retherin person, but doesn't offer us advancement. I wonder if that's related to the
Walk with virtue, Outlander.
The fact that her duties don't have to be done by a Retherin player. I don't know. It's interesting. We have loads of Restore Magicka. I'm just going to use one here. And we're going to jump off the side. So what I want to try... That mud crab's walking in the water. Actually, very rarely... I've just noticed I rarely ever see a mud crab walk in the water as we break our legs. I also just see them on the coast, like walking around on the beaches and stuff. It's interesting. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to use this swimmies spell. So I want to see... well, we'll probably use the levitate. I'll just use levitate 1 here to get onto this railing. So I want to kind of see how it feels. So here is us with no swimmies. Okay, it is a noticeable kind of speed boost, and we also get water breathing as well during that time. That's actually pretty cool. Not huge, it's not a massive difference, but it is a slight difference. And this is kind of what I was hoping for when I made the decision to sort of level up Samuel. Is to get a few things that are not at all game breaking, but are gonna make things a little bit easier in terms of getting around, getting to hard to reach places. That's cool. So I'm gonna use the recall amulet now, which is there. So now we are back at the Mudcrab Merchant. I'm gonna drop these things here. I don't need any of this stuff. And we have everything that we wanted. And just to take a look at the ungodly amount of wealth that this guy still has in his inventory. Oh my god, 130 grief. And if you ever want Sujama, this is the guy to talk to. I said scrib underwater. Some weird stuff that goes on. Cool. So we're going to head over to our wonderful Redis Essentials tomb, which I think I'm just going to double check. where exactly that is. So I know it is south of Molegma. Oh, it's just like straight south from Molegma. Okay. Cool. Cool. So we'll use our Alms of the Intervention again. Which... we have a scroll, but we don't know the spell. Okay. It's one to think about, actually. I wonder if these guys will sell us a spell for it. How well? Okay, well, cool. St. Velot's Hostel. The cliff races. I'm in town, don't attack me. Leave me alone. Alright, so straight south. Hey, can we... wait. I hit level 10 acrobatics. I can get onto these railings now with the jump. That's excellent. That's wonderful news. So this is 11 times more expensive than the unupgraded version. That's fine. Oh, it's so nice. Alrighty. I'm assuming that this right here... oh, jeepers. I hate when they skid like that. Is the Redis Ancestral Tomb. Perfect. Oh, I have a Holy Shield, which is basically a crap version of Aladdin's Ward. Cool. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just...
to you. A pleasure to meet you.
okay, so this is just before we leveled up last. Okay, cool. I'm gonna run through and grab everything else that we were doing. I'm gonna look over the recording of what we just did, and then I will return. But I'm gonna try to make those spells again as we did before. So stay tuned for time skip. Alright, cool. We're back in Molegma. So I realized actually that there was an Obsidian Intervention spell that I could pick up. So I grabbed that. Otherwise it's pretty much the same. I changed this Lev Minor spell just slightly. And I didn't make a upgraded Levitate spell because I forgot. That one, I'm not sure if that's the same as it was before, but it's potentially different. And otherwise, I think everything else is basically the same as what we had. So we got Mark and Recall, we've got Hop Toad. So yeah. So we're going to head over to... and also one thing I noticed being in third person mode is, holy cow, we feel a lot faster. So those levels in speed are really coming in handy. It feels very nice to be actually traversing the game world with a little bit more urgency. It's good. Alright. So, before when I attempted to save, my game crashed. Let's go ahead and attempt to save here. Okay, well, yeah, we are saved. Brilliant. So I'll try quick saving now. Okay, that did work. I have no idea what's in this tomb. I don't think I've done this quest before ever, so we're finding out together. I'm just gonna go into first person mode now. That is a flame atronac. Okay. That is a storm atronac. Holy cap. Just running in here, trying to get as much stuff done as we can before all our enchantments wear off. Goodness me. Huh, that's a winged twilight. A hunger, sorry. What did you do to me? Okay, cool. And I don't know what's that way. What do these shrines have? Soul of Sotha Sil. Fortify Magicka, 5 points. Hey, that's cool. Vivek's Mystery. Fortified Luck, 10 points. How cool is that? And there's also Unsavvy Restoration there as well. Which, why not? What is Lady's Grace again? Fortify Endurance, 5 points. Okay, cool. So, I'm guessing that where we need to go is actually beyond all that water over there. Ooh. Elemental Burst. Cool. Actually take all those scrolls. We're a big fan of scrolls. Provided that we remember. So there's a chalice, there's a robe. Feather, 50 points on self. Huh. That's very nice, actually. You're a scamp talking. There's 3 items, isn't there? There's a war axe. As well. I don't see the war axe in here. So that may be under here. You know what? I reckon now is a really good time to use that. Clan Fear. Clan Fear and a Scamp. So they're a slightly higher level Daedra, the Clan Fears. Not as high as obviously a like Dremora Lord or anything, but yeah, okay, cool. There's our war axe there, and that's everything in the entire area. Something else? Okay, cool. That's fun. We'll go ahead and use that. Get ourselves back up to max on that one. Yeah, I quite like that spell. It's not huge. But it feels very much like a true kind of minor alteration spell, right? Like, it doesn't actually do an awful lot in terms of, you know, giving you huge benefits. But it might mean the difference between, you know, you getting somewhere without drowning to death. So in that way, it's probably pretty good. So we can use Severe Restoration. Intervention. Take us back to more like suppose so. There we go. And actually, being able to cast that ourselves is really nice. It's gonna help us, again, kind of navigate the game world a little bit more easily. And I always forget where the Silt Strider is, but it is to the north, isn't it? Yeah. Is it? Wait, what? Am I doing a full loop without seeing it? There it is. Okay, so it was on my immediate right when I left. Awesome. Well, you know what they say. 4 lefts make a right. 4 lefts? 3 lefts. Okay, what am I doing? My brain is kind of mush today, so apologies for my lapses of concentration. So, oh god, ow, ow. Speaking of momentary lapses of concentration, where are we? Alrighty. Travel to Vivek.
We make a special trip just for you. Same low price.
Look at him smiling at me. Wow. And actually, because we leveled up our personality quite a lot. I think it was at 60, and now it's at 70. It's a higher chance to get like one of those, the more like positive kind of disposition voice lines as we go around the map, so people will be less mean to us. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, up we go. Oh, not enough magic up. Okay. Gonna wait till it starts fading away, and then re-up with the weaker one. And in fact, the difference is actually pretty negligible. Is that worth going for 17 magicka when I can do a 1-point levitate for basically free? Don't know. I feel like with potions, it makes sense to go for higher amounts of levitate, but I think with I think just with the spells, because of the costs involved, I think the opportunity cost between level 1 and this level is probably not worth it. So I'm gonna delete this one, and we're just gonna use this one to levitate. I just think it's better. Cool. Okay. So we've done one spell, one quest, a very minor dungeon. But I think that was basically all I had planned today, except for one more thing. So we've got that quest done, we've got the next quest lined up. However, I'm going to be completely straight and honest with you. I had an ulterior motive to crafting these alteration open 150 plus spells. And I am going to share my reasoning with you now. From the Mudcrab Merchant, there is somewhere relatively close, if I can remember where I'm going, that has another enchanted item for us. And as it turns out, Samuel is completely addicted to getting as many artifacts from this game world of extreme and obnoxious levels of power. So we are going to traverse the map a little bit and head over to where those are, which I think is this way, but I can't remember. Gonna pop ourselves out over here. But I'll just use my levitate potion. So you just get in their faces. That's what it's all about. I think from memory it was like basically straight south. But I can't quite recall. I thought it was straight south from Mudcrab. I swear that cliff racers can smell the ability to levitate. The moment you... well, I feel like personally, the moment I start levitating, I start fighting so many cliff racers. I think that's the location there. We will see in a moment. I'm going to use water walking to get up here. Alrighty. This looks correct. Yes. Cool. Ball fell. This has been cleared out by the Mages Guild. And so there are no high-level enemies, there are no Daedra, there are a lot of dead scamps. Otherwise, it's empty. However, the Mages Guild are all hanging out outside, and in the inner shrine, it's untouched. There's no one here. There is, however, I think that's a Frost Atronak. Get dodged. Okay, well, that was all. Every time I feel really excessive when I do these things. So, Sheogorath is here. And there's some gold. Which is okay. There's a soul gem. But this chest here. Lock level 75. So, luckily for us, we have an alteration spell. Open 50 to 100 points. So we've got a 80% chance to cast and a 1 in 2 chance of actually hitting the level we need. So we didn't hit the level we need. So we're going to have to go ahead and use Restore Magicka. And there's going to be a little bit of this involved. Okay, we failed the cast. This is why we need all those magic potions from the Mages Guild. Oh. Come on. Nice. We got it open. Okay. So, here we go. We're going to try to untrap this. There we go. 10 pace boots. Armor rating of 133, which is pretty damn good. But the Fortify Speed, Fortify Athletics for 20 points for 120 seconds, and Slow Fall 1 point. So as long as we cast these, we do not take any fall damage, ever. But it does drain our fatigue 5 points for 120 seconds. So we will look at a way to mitigate the negative effects of these boots. But I'm just going to go put them on. And I'll put on my Demon Katana again, I suppose. Cool. And let's actually get a feel for these, because I haven't actually ever gotten these before. I knew they were here, but because I've so rarely actually used the artifacts that are in the game. And I always kind of felt that these enchantment effects were pretty lackluster. But I think they'll be actually pretty good. So we're gonna move to somewhere we've got a bit more space to test these out. And in fact, let's do this. Let's just head out of here. So we go back to Vivek. And let's do a little play around with our 10 pace boots. There we go. We're moving pretty quick. Jumping. Jumping does nothing. But Fortify Speed and Athletics. For 2 minutes. Every time I cast these. And all it does is drain our fatigue a little bit faster. But actually, when you consider the benefits to sprinting quickly, I actually think there's basically no reason to not be casting these constantly as we walk around the map. Because we drain our fatigue when we sprint around the map anyway. That's pretty significant, huh? It's pretty good. Pretty damn good. Cool. So with that, we'll call it here for today's episode. We've gone 8 level ups. So we've gone from level 3 to level 11. Without making our character that much better, but it should make the game world a lot more challenging, while also providing us with a few more options in terms of like magic we can do, and not really kind of breaking the game too much. We've gotten a lot of money. We've got quite a bit in the bank still, so we may look to do some enchanting at some point, when we find some effects that are going to be useful for us, that aren't going to be making the game too simple or anything like that. We've got these 10 pace boots as a kind of new piece of equipment, which is going to be fantastic. And we did that Red Ring quest as well, and raided that Ancestral Tomb. So thank you so much for joining. As Samuel invests his newfound wealth and time passes during his days of training, the sinister influence of Dagoth Ur's malevolence echoed through the very veins of Vardenfell. With each level gained, the corruption from Red Mountain intensified, manifesting in a palpable aura that heralded the resurgence of House Dagoth. The blight, like a creeping tide, extended its reach, entwining itself insidiously with the vulnerable and weak-willed denizens of the island. The once untamed creatures of Vardenfell, wild and free, succumbed to the blight's insidious grasp, their once noble forms twisted into grotesque parodies of their former selves. And yet, despite all of this, Samuel felt in some ways more prepared. He was faster now, and could better avoid his enemy's strikes. His time spent increasing his magical proficiencies would allow him to make better use of spells, such as levitation, and would also make unlocking higher-level chests and doors more possible. While he was still very much a novice in the use of magics overall, his focus on alteration will allow him a certain level of utility as he continues his adventuring story.